Hi everyone, my name is Zac. Welcome to ERA Monthly Direction. Today, I'll be sharing with you about why OCR prices are not coming down. These are a couple of things that you need to know as a potential buyer in 2025. Okay, so there's a couple of things that I'll share with you. So these are things that you will discover today. Number one, about executive condo. Okay, somehow or rather, executive condo price point actually forms a cushion for all the private buyers, okay, in Singapore. And also the price acceptance, okay, whether is it EC, RCR, OCR, or CCR, there's a price acceptance that you need to know readily, especially for the past 6 months. Then I will share with you about how you should look at your investment from a URA harmonization point of view. Okay, the price converging effect, what is happening to all the prices in Singapore, and also learn how to identify profitable property. There's actually a very strong domestic demand. Okay, there's some key economic fundamentals that I think every investor in Singapore, they would need to know. Okay, there's also tight supply, limited land. I'll share with you about GLS and how high is the high income in today's context. Okay, world being the safe haven, are people still bringing money into Singapore? Okay, whether is it for investment, are they going for more rental, are they buying houses in Singapore? I'll share with you as well today. And also, what are the proactive cooling measures that is already in place and potentially coming up, okay, that will help you in your investment. So there's quite a bit of things that we are going through during this monthly direction. Okay, so probably you have heard from your friends or relative that we always talk about EC, executive condo, being a asset that always make money. But is it really true? Okay, so I just want to share with you this case study whereby this executive condo, okay, becomes unprofitable. Okay, and this case study is actually at Yew Mei Green. So if you look at the characteristic of Yew Mei Green, I think it is done by NTUC Income, okay, which is a very good developer. Okay, of course now they have changed name. Big units, there's 712 units in Choa Chu Kang. HDB upgraded area, mass market. Okay, rightfully it should not go wrong. But how come this project, okay, experienced like some unprofitable transactions that they actually made a loss of minus 150,000 to as low as 180,000, right? So you can argue that maybe, okay, Zac, the problem of this Yew Mei Green is actually the layout. So if you can look at the layout that I show on the screen, you realize that, okay, this is something that maybe current developer, they may not want to build. Okay, you look at the entrance, when you come in, it's triangle. Okay, how many of you can accept a triangle entrance? Okay, and also the living room, okay, this one comes without balcony and it comes with a round shape, okay, in terms of the living area, and also your bathroom inside your master and also your study area. Somehow or rather, okay, there's this triangle kind of layout. So is this really unacceptable by the buyers? That is why buyers in the resale market, they don't go in and pay a high price, okay, to make Yew Mei Green profitable. Yes, layout may not be the most ideal in this context, but I don't think the irregular floor plan actually makes a big difference to make it unprofitable. Okay, what I want to share about this case study is actually the timing. Okay, just a form to remind all the buyers out there that buying a property, selling a property, a lot of time is about the timing. So you can see in 1998 when this project launched, okay, shortly after, 2-3 years later in early 2000, it TOP. In fact, that is not a good time, okay, to come into a market. Why? Because prices are actually coming down, okay, or in fact going sideways, and there's a negative 21% all the way until the project MOP. You know, for EC, you need to stay there for at least 5 years, right? So a lot of people are also saying MOP is the best time to sell. But is it really true? If you look at 2005, right, for the next few years, probably up to 2006, 2007, okay, that is the time whereby a lot of MOP sellers, they will go out in the market and try to sell whatever property they have. Okay, in this case, Yew Mei Green. You realize that if you sell, then you will make about 150 to 180 negative sale in this property. Okay, but if you would have wait a little while, okay, from 2006 all the way to 2014, there's actually an appreciation of 125%, right? Okay, so this is one of the timing whereby, okay, it is not the correct time to sell. Okay, why do I say that? Because Yew Mei Green actually have got profitable transactions, right? So can you imagine that the highest profit actually can go up as high as 1.2 over million? Okay, I think this owner actually bought during MOP, during the lowest point, okay, and sold in 2024, hold on to Yew Mei Green for the past 19 years before they sell. Okay, so and they actually made up to $1.2 million. So what are some of the key takeaways, okay, for this seller who made 1.2 million? Right, I think timing is important. I think I just want to remind all the viewers out there that holding power is key in every property investment. Okay, sell upon MOP really may not always be the most ideal time. Okay, so you got to judge what is your true intention about selling. And also after you sell, what are you going to buy? Okay, I think floor plan is something whereby, sure, we want to have a functional, usable floor plan, but okay, a little bit of odd shape here and there, I don't think it will dampen the resale buyer coming into any particular project. But of course, today, in terms of developers, they have already tried to build favorable floor plans for buyers, okay, to make sure that you also like the layout so that you can buy into their projects. Okay, and also reinvest. So I think reinvesting after selling is also important, right? If you can see any buyers who buy in during MOP, if you have already made like 125%, right, from 2006 all the way to 2012, okay, that's like a very healthy 6-7 years of stay. If you would have sold Yew Mei Green, then after which reinvest into projects like Skyview, Panorama, or even Martin Modern, okay, during that period of time, prices in Singapore, okay, actually went sideways for Yew Mei Green. But these three developments, which is with proven characteristics, actually continue to make money, okay, for the same duration, as high as 15%, while majority of the projects actually went downhill. So what you potentially reinvest in also plays a very important part, okay, in your investing journey. Okay, of course, I just want to share this good news that Orel EC recently we have done extremely well. In March, okay, we managed to sell 90% during launch, okay, as high as $1,800 per square foot already achieved. What does $1,800 means to you is that every 1,000 square feet, this EC brand new buyer actually bought in, okay, at 1.8 million with an income of 16K. Okay, which means to say Singaporeans are extremely rich. They are cash rich, CPF rich, okay, and they also have the ability to take good loans. Okay, so this EC somehow or rather forms a very good cushion, okay, for the private owners, right? So we also want to ensure that all these EC buyers moving forward, okay, because it is first time they are buying property, okay, majority of them are first timer, they will want to make their first pot of gold from Orel EC as well. So anything that is very near to the EC price, okay, in the OCR region, I think it is very worth considering in today's context. Okay, next I want to share with you about this new home pricing and also the high price acceptance, okay, in current context. Okay, so of course, if you realize since November last year, we have done extremely well for different launches, okay, starting from like EOK, Chuan Park, Nava, so and so forth, Norwood in Woodlands, and this thing continue to come into 2025 for Ori, Beckner House, freehold development in the east. Then we also did this Clementi Alta, Parktown in Tampines, and of course, even Lentor Central, we managed to sell 93% of the whole development, okay, at an average price of $2,200 per square foot, okay, in March and February. Okay, that's like a lot of units sold within a short period of time. So I think people are getting used to the price, okay, set by the developer. So if you look at OCR first, okay, OCR. Okay, over the years, the pricing actually went up 43%. For RCR, it went up 44%. And also CCR, 27%, right? So OCR, to take note, the average now is about $2,200 per square foot, meaning to say you buy a 3-bedroom at 1,000 square feet, it will come up to a quantum of $2.2 million, okay? Okay, I'll touch base a little bit on the harmonization. Okay, of course, now that any projects launch moving forward will all be harmonized. Okay, I just want to share that, okay, pre-harmonized, this is the time whereby you still can buy projects at lower per square foot, lower price quantum with a bigger size. Of course, the bigger size comes from the aircon ledge, right? Okay, then for those post-harmonized project, we typically have to plus 5% in terms of the price, okay, the per square foot. You have to pay a higher per square foot, okay, similar or higher price now because over the past few months, prices have continued to escalate. Smaller size because now that we cannot count aircon ledges, which is a good news. Okay, but I just want to remind all of you, in the market today, there's actually this thing, okay, that I expect to happen moving forward. Okay, every project will be considered fully harmonized. Okay, in the resale market, upon TOP, nobody will then talk about aircon ledges. Nobody will compare harmonized or pre-harmonized. Okay, so there's this opportunity that now the balance of the pre-harmonized project, you can buy in at a bigger size, lower per square foot. This is the kind of property maybe you should capitalize for your investment. Okay, also want to share about this GLS that is recently sold, okay, at Bayshore. Okay, for those who are familiar with Bayshore, East Coast area, right, you realize that this plot of land is actually directly facing the sea, which is very rare for government land sales. Normally, when there's a plot of land that is going through redevelopment, it has gone through en bloc, okay, and this is sea facing in a very mature estate called Bayshore. Right, and what is important is that this developer actually bought in at 1,388 per square foot per plot ratio for this OCR property. And this is very much comparable to the RCR property and even the CCR property in terms of the entry price for these government land sales. Okay, so this speaks the confidence of developer, okay, in Singapore wanting to buy projects that is favorable to Singaporeans, and also in a location whereby they know, okay, the demand will be strong. Okay, so Bayshore actually outdo a lot of government land sales in terms of pricing. So what is really happening? How come OCR is actually achieving record price? Is because there's this price converging effect over the past few years. Meaning to say, whether is it CCR, RCR, or OCR, we are trying to converge into one price, okay, as near as possible. Okay, this is also happening because, okay, back then when I first joined the business almost 20 years ago, before decentralization, okay, the prices in different regions, okay, for example, in CCR, it is always the most expensive. I just want to highlight, most expensive property that you buy doesn't mean it will be the most profitable. Okay, then of course, after the CCR, there will be RCR. Okay, that's where the prices are in between. And of course, the most affordable will be the OCR property, the outskirt kind of property. But in recent years, okay, because of decentralization, people are willing to work closer to their offices near their home. Probably they even work from home. They don't need to travel to the CBD of Singapore. The decentralization and the price point, okay, in terms of quantum and per square foot somehow or rather change a little bit. Yes, the core central region moving forward will still be the most expensive, followed by the RCR and also the OCR. But what happens over the years is that this thing actually spread out, okay, throughout the whole Singapore. And in fact, this is a good thing. So when you buy property, it's not only about the location. Every one of us should also learn about all the proven characteristics to make sure that this property that you buy actually previously or historically ever make money due to all these good characteristics that the development possess. Let me give you one example or one scenario, okay? So everybody is familiar with Mercedes-Benz, right? So there is C-Class, E-Class, and S-Class, right? I mean, if given a choice, okay, for you to buy based on judging the income of Singaporeans. Okay, I believe you would agree with me that majority of the ordinary Singaporeans, probably we will consider like C class, okay, a normal saloon car just to commute from places to places. Okay, if you are a little bit more affluent, okay, maybe you go for the E class. Okay, but if you are the tauke, you are the boss, then you will want to buy the S class. Okay, why is this thing happening is because the prices are categorized or priced, okay, according to the specs that they give you, whether is it E class, C class, or S class. Okay, so that for example, C class is 300,000, E class is 400,000, S class is 500,000. I believe majority of the people will go for C class and E class in Singapore. Okay, but if I can give you another scenario, the same car, but because of the supply and demand, okay, in Singapore, okay, Mercedes also realized that not many people, only a handful of people are willing, okay, to buy into S class, even though we know the specs is better, it gives you more comfort, but because of the price point is high. So what they do is that they build this S class, okay, slightly differently so that they can accommodate to the price range for an ordinary Singaporean. Okay, scenario 2, what if C class is 400,000, E class is 480,000, right? And S class now, I give you a chance, you can buy it at 500,000. Okay, comments below, let me know, will you buy into C class, E class, or S class for scenario 2? Okay, so why am I giving you this example is that throughout the years, developer also realized that, okay, not many people wants to live in CCR. Okay, maybe they wants to be nearer to their parents, nearer to the schools that the children actually goes to, right? So majority of the ordinary Singaporeans grow up in HDB estate, okay, which is under like the C class and E class category. So it makes the C class, E class more popular. But what if I present to you today there's an opportunity in the central region whereby price point is very comparable, because remember just now I said price are all converging into one. You are offered to stay in prime location, okay, probably even core central region with a slight premium that is already very near to your RCR price. Will you now, okay, consider E class or S class? Right? Okay, so this is something for you to think about. Okay, I just want to use another analogy to share with you how property prices in Singapore, okay, will be moving forward. Okay, and if you look at the price gap, okay, due to the price converging effect in Singapore real estate, you realize back then there's a bigger price gap, okay, but moving forward these few years, this price gap actually gets smaller. Okay, now I want to offer you all this particular opportunity. You realize that CCR and RCR, these two prices actually converge into one, right? So logically, core central region can never be lower than RCR. So when the price point meet, okay, this is an opportunity to tell you that CCR prices moving forward in the next few years, okay, has got potential to actually goes up and even higher or even faster than RCR, or at least they will go in tandem, right? Okay, so how should buyers navigate in today's real estate landscape? Okay, I just have got one advice. Okay, we are always looking into this thing called the quantum play, meaning to say your affordability. You must always buy into a investment project thinking about whether the next potential buyer in the resale market, are they still having high affordability when buying a property from you? If yes, then correct, you are buying into the right quantum play kind of property. Anyway, later I'll be sharing with you how to identify properties, okay? And I think this is extremely important, how you judge what kind of properties to buy. Okay, in fact, there's only two steps how you can identify a proven characteristic of a profitable property. Number one, right, okay, all the characteristics that you buy into, if they have got historical data to back them up, okay, things like having a good schools, MRT station, okay, good layout, these are proven characteristic. Okay, second thing, okay, is about buying at right entry price. You can buy the best integrated project, okay, with good floor plans, good developer, but you buy in at the highest price, a wrong entry price, you will not still make the money. Okay, so there's 8 proven characteristic of a profitable property in Singapore that I would like to share with you. Number one, MRT station. Okay, I just want to share that doesn't mean that you are on top of the MRT station line means that you will be highly profitable, because when you are nearer to MRT station, developer usually, okay, sell you at a higher price as well. But this is one characteristic, okay, in the resale market that buyers will always look out for: the distance to MRT station, right? 300 to 500 meters, based on my experience, is something that people still can accept. Second, schools, okay, as you already know, anything within 1 kilometer, okay, is easier to enroll your child into that good school, reputable school. So school is always part of consideration, okay, especially for HDB upgraders. Floor plan, okay, today, to be frank, developers also don't dare to anyhow build different kind of special layout or odd shape layout for you. In fact, they are of more concern, okay, in terms of the floor plan. Okay, if you ask me, for the past few years, developers has been building very good functional layouts already. Number four, amenities. Okay, where do you actually get your daily necessity? Where do you get your haircut? Where do you get your nails groomed? I think all these are things whereby, okay, it will help you if you have got good amenities surrounding you. Okay, and a few more characteristics. Okay, not everybody take MRT station, so connectivity for people who drive is also important. The distance from your development to the to the expressway is important. Future transformation is about whether there is future government land sales coming up. Is there a new MRT line coming up? Rentability for investors, okay, this is something that you should take note, especially for buyers profile whereby you are going into your retirement. Capital appreciation probably is something whereby is not of a concern, but rental yield, cash flow, okay, is something that you will look out for. Stability, back-to-back rental. So rentability is also very important when you buy into property. Okay, last one, okay, for proven characteristic will be the number of units. Okay, there's some benefits about buying bigger projects. Okay, why do I say that? Because bigger project, not only you get to enjoy more facilities, you also most of the time will have lower maintenance fee. Okay, long-term wise, it will give you some savings for this development that you invest into. Okay, we also have got this 27 points winning property checklist. Okay, in fact, you cannot only just based on 8 proven characteristic, there's actually 27. So for example, is the floor level important? Should you always buy high floor? Can you also consider low floor if the price is right? Okay, so for example, number 25, window. Is window important? Window is important if you have maybe not 2 bathroom but 1 bathroom. Okay, then that 1 bathroom still gives you a window within the toilet itself. I think this is extremely rare, but always good to have. Okay, so there's a checklist of 27 different characteristics that you can actually take a picture of this, then after which look into the project that you want to invest. Okay, the idea here is, okay, have as many as possible in terms of the proven characteristics that I show you in this screen. Okay, next, since this is a monthly direction, I just want to share very quickly why these are some of the 5 reasons why property prices in Singapore is very unlikely to drop. Okay, and even so that you must take note, we are buying this for long term. Okay, number 1 is the strong domestic demand, okay, in Singapore. Number 2, the tight supply in terms of government land sales. We got very limited land. We're just one small red dot. Okay, stable employment. Okay, we always look into all these economic fundamentals. Is there a lot of unemployment in Singapore? How high is the income? Okay, reason number 4, world safe haven. Okay, this is how Singapore always position ourselves. We not only want to attract people to come into Singapore, we want them to set up, okay, their businesses, have their headquarters in Singapore, okay, so that they will actually bring their family, because we are a safe haven, not only from the monetary point of view, but it is also a safe place to stay in. Okay, the 5th reason is the proactive cooling measures over the years, how this will potentially help us. Okay, so the strong demand, if you look at this, the last time the GDP dropped is actually during COVID. But my question to you, okay, maybe you can leave inside the comment section below. During COVID, when we have got a negative GDP, the question is, did the Singapore property prices drop? Okay, can you reply yes or no inside the comments? Okay, so if you remember during COVID, when we are made to stay at home for 2 months, we cannot go out, okay, nobody can go offices, it greatly affected our economy, our GDP. But remember what government do? Government actually bring out some of the reserve, okay, and actually help in businesses, okay. They ask the business owner, you take care of your employees, okay, I will give you incentive, okay, to help you tide over this difficult period. Government also come in with different policies to tell landlord, right, not to charge your tenant for the next 4 months, just to help your tenant tide over. Because COVID, right, everybody stays at home, there's no businesses, we don't go out for entertainment, right. Also, many of the retail has been affected. So I think being a country that is having strong reserve actually help us, right? Not that we always want to use our government reserve, but I think moving forward, okay, were to go down, okay, economy is not doing well, rest assured, okay, especially now that election is over, there's more stability, you know who is going to govern Singapore, you know that they will continue to do a good job, okay, at least they have done so for the past 60 years. Okay, what we want to share with you about GDP is that, okay, when the GDP goes down, okay, back then in 2019, 2020, okay, it don't really affect the Singapore property prices, okay. Prices continue to elevate even when GDP prices goes down, okay. And why is this so? Is because 90% of the private homes, okay, in Singapore are all owned by Singaporeans and Singapore PR, which is very high if you compare with the rest of the world. Somehow or rather, we just got this culture to buy into Singapore property, especially when we come into the workforce and we have got the capital to invest. So this property price index versus the property transactions, okay, this slide I just want to emphasize, okay, this is not the first time that there is economic crisis potentially coming up. In fact, there's a different situation in the world that is happening, like your trade war, like your real war that's going on in Russia, Ukraine, okay, in the Middle East. These are things that is always happening. But look at the property prices, okay, it has continued to elevate to the next level. Okay, the high become higher. And this is very much so due to the strong Singapore dollars. Okay, so when you have got strong Singapore dollars, okay, it's somehow or rather a lot of people will actually hold more equities, okay, especially if your property price were to go up, okay, the Singapore dollars, okay, also goes up. So the question is, will property in Singapore continue to have capital appreciation over the next few years? So we got to identify, okay, and find out why there's actually capital appreciation. Number one, okay, short term, especially if the financial market is doing well, okay, property price will continue to go up. Okay, mid term, okay, it is always because of transformation or government policy, right? Government policy, example, like they tell you, okay, there's this government land sales that we are going to release for sale. Developer, okay, go into this new estate, redevelop this, transform this area, okay, then in 3 to 5 years, you realize that there's more projects coming in, prices will go up. But more importantly, why prices always go up in Singapore is because there's this incoming population, okay? And we also somehow or rather has achieved an all-time high population of 6 million people in Singapore, okay, based on June 2024. So the question to all the viewers out there, do you think population will continue to go up, okay, in Singapore? Maybe you can comment in the comment section below. And moving forward, okay, by 2030, we hope to achieve 6.5 million to 6.9. Even if we take the worst case scenario, 6.5 million people. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to ask you, how many years are we away to 2030? It's only 5 years. 5 years, another 500,000 people, right? I think this is something that we try to push if possible. Okay, and I think if you are feeling very crowded already in Singapore, it will get more crowded. Second reason, this is also why prices will continue to go up, is because of the tight supply. Okay, Government are very much in control on the government land sales, okay? How much land do they need to release, and also BTO, how many BTOs that they're releasing into the market, okay? Why? Because we have got limited land. So these are the 5 years and 10 years average, okay, for the new homes. So we are always monitoring. In fact, if you look at recent years, we didn't release a lot of new homes, right? Because sometimes we got to manage the supply and demand, okay, based on buyers' response. And since we have got the new home stock, we also need to take note of the absorption rate. That means how fast are we taking up all these new homes, right? So every year, the amount of number of units that we release, okay, and also how many buyers are actually buying, transacting into all these new homes is about 8,000 over units, okay, on the average for the 5 years and 10 years. And based on current stock, okay, just in case you do not know, it takes only 2 years for us to clear. In fact, if you do a comparison back then in like 2009, okay, or even all the way to 2014, that's where, okay, we take 3 to 4 years to clear the existing stocks. Okay, so I think we are in a very healthy position. In fact, government can continue to release more stocks, okay, into government land sales so that developer can bid into it. Why? Because the numbers actually came down from 4 years to 2 years, okay? People are actually taking up more new homes. These are a couple of residential sites, okay, that developers can potentially buy into, okay, if they want. They can trigger into all these government land sales. Okay, just want to share with you, we have got the RCR project, OCR project, and also CCR project at different regions. Okay, this is how government, or at least URA, are monitoring into all this. Okay, these are the new home sales volume. Okay, I put into place 2024 and 2025. So you realize that this year, 2025, especially the second half, okay, of 2025, we actually have got new home sales coming up. Okay, of course, we have got some in the OCR, okay, but mainly the central region. Okay, so that is why at the beginning of the presentation, I tell you, there might be an opportunity for you to come into central region to buy into all these new projects by very reputable developers. Okay, economic fundamentals as well. We need to make sure that everybody is employed, okay, have got good income, income continue to go up over time. Okay, I think over the past few years, okay, income actually went up significantly, right? So if you can see during COVID times, okay, income was like 12,000, coming 13,000. But in a short span of a few years, income actually goes up to as high as 14,500 within a household. Okay, what does this mean to you is that if you meet a couple, okay, if you're a couple whereby you have got 14,500 or 15,000, do you know you can potentially buy into a purchase price of 2.2 million thereabout? Okay, so in the OCR, you ask yourself, 3 bedrooms, is it mostly below $2.2 million for this young couple with $14,500 income to buy into? Yes, right? If you can buy 2.2, 2.3 million, a lot of 2-3 bedrooms are there readily available for you to buy into for today's context. That is why people continue to buy into properties in Singapore. Look at unemployment rate, okay? There's no way this number will go to zero, okay? The only high time for unemployment is during COVID, okay? I think we have stabilized this rate of unemployment. It is considered very low if you compare to the rest of the world, right? So let's hope that this thing continue to stay low as possible. Okay, this is very interesting article, okay? And you know, every time we buy a property, you are eligible to loan up to 75%. But if you look at the overall Singapore household debt, okay, in fact, we are at the lowest in a decade. We are only having an average loan to value 41%. So can you imagine you buy a property 75%, but overall Singapore national average is only 41%. Meaning to say people are cash rich, CPF rich. During the back 2 years of high interest rate, a lot of people actually pay down their loan. Okay, they don't want to pay so many interest, so they use their cash and CPF, okay, to pay. Okay, then now the average LTV is only 41%. This one only tell you one signal. In Singapore, there's no property bubble. Property bubble means LTV, people are borrowing more than they can borrow. For example, if the national average is like 80-90%, then the whole country is over leveraging. Every time there's an economy crisis, people will have a problem paying their monthly installment. Okay, and the other good news is that over time, maybe it's a culture, Asians, okay, we love to save money. You realize that over the years, especially for the past 10 years, these savings actually increased significantly, right? So this is something to take note. Singaporeans do have cash for emergency or rainy days. Okay, the fourth reason is actually world safe haven, right? So we are still attracting a lot of millionaires coming into Singapore. Okay, just back few days ago, Bill Gates also decided to come into Singapore. I hope you have read the news as well. Okay, it is a place, a good country for preserving our wealth. Okay, not only through property, right? So there's many reasons why people come, maybe because of medical, maybe because of schools, okay, maybe because of their business, but we are continuing to attract, okay, people coming into Singapore. And just now I also shared, we have got a good, we actually have got strong Singapore dollars as well. So this is also some of the reasons, okay, why we continue to have the most millionaire comparing to the rest of the world, comparing to the rest of the major cities. Okay, anyway, just to share with you, Sulin is 5 groups of people from different countries, okay, that you can potentially buy under the free trade agreement, meaning to say there's ABSD remission, okay, even though there is not a lot, but when we look at this Sulin category, we realize that actually there's a handful of US citizens, right, okay, buying into Singapore property as well. Okay, the last reason that I want to share with you is actually about our cooling measures over the years, right? Okay, I came into the business in 2006. Okay, at least for the past coming 20 years, I can say that 75% of the time during my real estate career, okay, prices actually went up 75%. Why do I say this is important index for you to consider? Is because you want to invest in something that long term you know it will still go up. Okay, probably about 10-15% the prices went sideways. Then the remaining 5-10% prices comes down. But if you look at the chart, most of the time, okay, at least for the past 20 years, okay, when there's economy downturn, we actually experience good recovery, okay, a V-shaped recovery. So we want you to also look into buying property as a long-term kind of forced saving and also long-term kind of investment, because we need to have cooling measure to make it very stable and sustainable, right? So Singapore property, there is no bubble like what the minister says, okay, but they are always open to more cooling measures, okay, whenever necessary, right? So they are monitoring all these property price index, okay, day in, day out. Whenever there is a point whereby they think it is relevant to now induce more cooling measure, trust me, they will do that. Okay, so why do I say this? Is because there will be some of the buyers out there, okay, you might be still sitting on the fence, you might be having some fear, concern over the upcoming economy, job stability, interest rate, so on and so forth, whatever objections, concerns that you might have. Okay, let me tell you, as and when the government decides to introduce cooling measure, okay, if this thing will affect you and stop you from buying, you will miss out on the opportunity, okay, that you probably take a longer time to save your capital. You might be more reluctant to pay in more ABSD if there's any cooling measure. Okay, so what if they change the LTV? They reduce the LTV from 75% to 70%. My question to you is, the additional 5%, do you have a problem coming out with more down payment? Right, so I just want to share, okay, you see over the past 10 over years, there's this cooling measure, but every time, did the prices come down? Not really, okay? Every time there's cooling measure introduced, you realize that new home prices continue to escalate, okay, to all-time high again, right? Okay, I understand that every time there's cooling measure, people will take some time to understand, they wait and see a little bit, but majority will very quickly accept the cooling measure, okay, and play within the boundaries, play within the cooling measure, and buy into their next property. So prices will continue to go up. Okay, so these are some illustrations I just want to go through with you in relation of property price and cooling measure. So number one scenario, okay, if property price goes down, is there a possibility that government will reduce or take away cooling measure? Okay, the answer is yes. When property price goes down, they can always take away some ABSD so that prices will be stabilized, or maybe reverse, have a V-shaped recovery, and prices might go up again, because long term we don't want Singapore property prices to go down. Okay, scenario number two, if property prices were to go up like now, okay, continue to go up year on year, is there a possibility government remove cooling measure? Okay, high chance is no. If prices continue to go up, okay, they will not remove cooling measure. Okay, because if you remove cooling measures, the prices will go up even faster. Third scenario, if prices were to go down, okay, is there a possibility that they give you more cooling measure, they make it more difficult for you to buy? Okay, which is also very unlikely, because when prices already go down, you still introduce cooling measure, all the investors, including myself, I will exit the market, I will not buy in anymore. So we are left with the last scenario. If property prices were to go up, will there be cooling measures? There will be one day, sooner or later. Okay, why? Because we want to see it long term, make it more sustainable in terms of property price growth, okay, to ensure there is no property bubble within Singapore. Okay, just to share with you why, or the trend line, how this thing will happen. Okay, over the past 20 years, I get to experience every time there is lower volume, prices will be stabilized, like last year. But this year, there will be more volume of new homes coming up. There's more transactions, hopefully, coming in the second half of this year. Okay, prices will always go up. So low volume, prices stabilize in Singapore. When there's high volume of transactions, prices will go up. So long term down the road, as an investor, this is what we will experience. Okay, and I just want to end off with this. Okay, now we are experiencing this high demand, low supply situation, which is very ideal. Okay, and we are looking out for long-term growth. Okay, but do expect some cooling measures, okay, coming along your way. So for those who are sitting on the fence, okay, if you are stretching yourself a little bit already, my suggestion is, if you see something that is favorable, suitable for your family, it is still a good time for you to enter, because I highly suspect there might be a potential cooling measures coming up if we continue this way. Okay, with that, I end my presentation. If you have got any question, you can put it in the comment section below. We will try to answer as much as possible. If not, I wish you all the best, and I hope to see you for our monthly direction by ERA. I'll see you. My name is Zac, and bye-bye.